This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Danushka Madhavala, read by Sharifah Tahir. Headlines. PM signs 9 agreements on China-Sri Lanka cooperation. The President inaugurates MH Omar Liver Care Facility, hails healthcare excellence and philanthropy. Minimum wage increased by 5,000 rupees. The President pledges digital transformation for poverty reduction and educational reform. Turkish Airlines flights to Colombo. Foreign news. Russia blames Western Kiev for jihadist massacre in Moscow. In sports news, injury time Bellingham goal rescues draw for England. We move on to local news in detail. The signing of 9 new agreements between China and Sri Lanka took place under the patronage of Chinese Prime Minister Li Qiang and Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. The Prime Minister paid floral tributes to the martyred war heroes at the Monument to the People's Heroes at Tiananmen Square, and after receiving the Guard of Honor from the Chinese military, bilateral discussions commenced yesterday. Later in the bilateral talks held in Great Hall in Beijing, more attention was paid to increasing overall cooperation in the social, cultural, educational and agricultural sectors in addition to economic cooperation. The Prime Minister of the two countries confirmed that a new chapter in the long-term friendship and cooperation between Sri Lanka and China will begin through the 9 memoranda of understanding signed between the two countries. Secretary to the Prime Minister Anuradha Sanayaka signed the agreements on behalf of Sri Lanka, and the secretaries of 9 ministries signed on behalf of China. President Ranil Wickremesinghe inaugurated the MH Omar Liver Care Facility at the Centre for Liver Diseases in Colombo North Teaching Hospital, Ragama, yesterday. Made possible by the generous donation from the MH Omar Foundation worth 2.5 billion rupees, the state-of-the-art facility stands as a beacon of hope for those battling liver ailments, marking a pinnacle of healthcare excellence and philanthropy. Chronic liver disease is increasingly prevalent among both children and adults in Sri Lanka, with liver transplantation being the sole effective treatment for liver failure. Addressing these complex liver ailment necessity specialized expertise and costly equipment. The North Colombo Center for Liver Diseases serves as a postgraduate training center and conducts top-tier research in liver diseases, maintaining Sri Lanka's largest database of liver cancer treatments. The MH Omar Foundation's remarkable donation of 2.5 billion rupees for the construction of the specialized liver disease treatment center marks the most significant contribution by a Sri Lankan entrepreneur to its healthcare and education services. Mr. MH Omar, the founder of the renowned Brandix Group in Sri Lanka, has spearheaded this philanthropic endeavor. The presence of a young girl who had undergone successful liver surgery at the hospital was particularly significant, as she warmly welcomed the President upon his arrival at the North Colombo Teaching Hospital. Cabinet spokesman, Transport, Highways and Mass Media Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said that the Cabinet approval has been granted for the amendment of the National Minimum Wage of Workers Act for the increase of the national minimum monthly and daily wages. He was speaking at the weekly Cabinet media briefing held yesterday at the Government Information Department. As per the government, the minimum national salary had been set as 12,500 rupees under the provisions of the National Minimum Wage of Workers Act No. 3 of 2016. A tertiary subcommittee comprising trade unions and employers representing small and medium-level entrepreneurs, appointed under the recommendations of the National Labour Consultancy Board, has recommended increasing the minimum monthly wage to 17,500. Accordingly, the Cabinet of Ministers approved the proposal presented by the Labour and Foreign Employment Minister, to increase the national minimum wage by 5,000 rupees, that is from 12,500 rupees to 17,500 rupees. Approval has also been granted to revise the Employees National Minimum Wages Act No. 3 of 2016 so that the national minimum daily salary can be increased by 200 rupees to 500 rupees up to 700 rupees. You're listening to the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with more stories here at home, President Ranil Wickremesinghe highlighted Sri Lanka's commitment to agricultural modernization and emphasized the nation's goal of reducing multidimensional poverty. By 2035, Sri Lanka aims to ensure the multidimensional poverty does not exceed 10%. The President stressed the importance of establishing a robust framework and gathering accurate data to achieve this target. This data will help identify individuals and areas most in need of assistance at the grassroots level. President Wickremesinghe emphasized that addressing multidimensional poverty is a crucial tool alongside efforts to enhance the education system. These remarks were made while delivering the keynote speech at the Digital Public Infrastructure Seminar held in Colombo yesterday, emphasizing the timelessness of the seminar amid Sri Lanka's shift beyond economic stabilization. Highlighting the achievement of stabilizing the economy and ongoing negotiations with international creditors, the President outlined the government's economic transformation agenda. This seminar on digital public infrastructure was co-organized by the High Commission of India in Colombo and the Ministry of Technology to explore the transformative potential of DPI for enabling service delivery, empowering communities by fostering inclusivity and enriching the economy by driving innovation. State Minister of Higher Education Suren Raghavan revealed that the report prepared by the committee chaired by former Chief Justice K. Sripavan for the establishment of the National Higher Education Development Commission aimed at replacing the University Grants Commission has been submitted to the ministry yesterday. He further stated that upon thorough examination of the report, the establishment of the National Higher Education Development Commission could be accomplished within this year. State Minister Raghavan was addressing a press briefing held at the Presidential Media Centre yesterday under the theme of Collective Path to a Stable Country. That's local news for the moment.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
Moving on to the main news story, Sri Lanka Airport had recorded 1.6 million international passenger movements and 8,946 international aircraft movements by the end of February 2024. Chairman of Airport and Aviation Services Sri Lanka Private Limited, Engineer Atula Galkatia said that they are also happy to announce that compared to the same period in 2023, the increased international passenger movements in 2024 is approximately 40.39%, while the increase in international aircraft movements is approximately 30.77%. Comparing the number of tourists who visited Sri Lanka by air in 2023 and 2024, the percentage of tourists arriving in 2023 shows an increase of 104.65%, and the total tourist arrivals by air up to the end of February were 425,532.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
Watch Live is brought to you by
CIB Navy offer valuable gifts and gift vouchers, 25% discount for bank cards till 10th of April. Visit CIB today. CIB revives once always.
In Watchlight, the special unit established in the Bureau for the Prevention of Abuse of Children and Women of Sri Lanka Police has received a total of 1,077 complaints related to incidents of abuse, violence and harassment against women and children. The special unit allows the general public to submit complaints related to crimes against children and women through the mail address cwb.online@police.gov.lk or the hotline number 109.
CIB Navy offer valuable gifts and gift vouchers, 25% discount for bank cards till 10th of April. Visit CIB today. CIB revives once always.
Coming up, World News.
World News headlines: Russia blames Western Kiev for jihadist massacre in Moscow. Julian Assange faces further weight over eradication ruling. Japan to sell fighter jets in latest break from post-war pacifist ideals. World News in detail. Top Russian officials have directly accused Ukraine and the West of being involved in the deadly Moscow concert hall attack after it was claimed by the Islamic State group. IS has released video of the atrocity, but Vladimir Putin and two close allies have claimed the jihadists were helped by Western and Ukrainian intelligence. Ukraine has rejected Russia's lies. Russia says 139 people were killed when four armed men burst into the Crocus City Hall concert complex on Friday evening. Another 22 remain in a serious condition, including two children, officials say. 4 citizens of Tajikistan have appeared in court accused of carrying out the massacre. 4 other suspects have been accused of aiding terrorism. Ukrainian presidential advisor Mikhailo Podolyak said the facts about the perpetrators and the failed incompetence of the Russian security services are indisputable. Western countries have also ridiculed the Kremlin's narrative. The U.S. must assure Julian Assange as freedom of speech protections and will not receive the death penalty before he is extradited, judges have ruled. The UK High Court said the WikiLeaks founder could be allowed to launch a new appeal against being sent to the US without those commitments. US authorities say Mr. Assange endangered lives by publishing thousands of classified documents. His lawyers have argued that the case is a form of state retaliation. The court has adjourned its final decision on Mr. Assange's extradition by 3 weeks to give the US government time to comply with its order. Finally, on World News, Japan's cabinet has approved the export of new fighter jets it is developing with the UK and Italy in the latest move away from its pacifist policies. It eased arms export rules to allow the jets to be sold to countries that Japan has signed defense pacts with and where there is no ongoing conflict. Japan has pledged to double military spending by 2027, citing threats posed by China and North Korea. Each fighter jet sale will require cabinet approval, authorities said. In December 2022, Japan joined a UK-Italy collaboration dubbed the Tempest to develop this new fighter jet that will use artificial intelligence and advanced sensors to assist pilots. The jets are expected to be deployed by 2035 in what is Tokyo's first defense equipment developed partnership with a country other than the US. That's World News for the moment.
Development News.
Turkish Airlines announced a significant enhancement in its flight services with the addition of its 6th weekly flight between Istanbul and Colombo. Effective May 14, 2024, Turkish Airlines will be increasing its weekly flights from Istanbul to Colombo, offering passengers more flexibility and convenience in their travel plans. This strategic decision comes as part of Turkish Airlines' commitment to meeting the growing demand for air travel between the two destinations and offering the best possible connection to those who are traveling to Istanbul and beyond. That's on Development News.
Moving on with sports news.
Jude Bellingham's last gasp equaliser spared England a second successive Wembley defeat after defensive errors threatened to cost them dearly in the friendly against Belgium. Having lost at home to Brazil, Gareth Southgate's reshuffled side were a mixed bag. They showed promise up front but vulnerability at the back, which was punished ruthlessly by Belgium before Bellingham's dramatic intervention seconds from time. England goalkeeper Jordan Pickford made a rare error. He's first to cost a goal in 16 international appearances when his poor clearance led to Yuri Tielemans putting Belgium ahead after 11 minutes. That's on Sports News.
Go ekak tiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
A U.S. judge has thrown out a lawsuit brought by Elon Musk's social media firm X against a group that had claimed that hate speech had risen on the platform since the tech tycoon took over. X had accused the Center for Countering Digital Hate of taking unlawful steps to access its data. The U.S. judge dismissed the case and said it was evident Mr. Musk's X Corp did not like criticism. X said it planned to appeal. Imran Ahmed, founder and chief executive of CCDH, celebrated the win, saying Mr. Musk had conducted a loud, hypocritical campaign of harassment and abuse against his organization in an attempt to avoid taking responsibility for his own decisions.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak tiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
And on economic news, delivering the second monetary policy review for 2024 yesterday, Governor Central Bank Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe said that commercial banks should pass on the low-interest lending benefits to customers. He added that the banks are taking a very long time in this regard and this is not acceptable. He also said that banks have been told to start business recovery units to assist enterprises that are in red and help them to bounce back. The World Bank, too, is supporting this initiative. In addition, commercial banks also requested to start special corporate workout schemes with companies that have taken extensive credit to help them to overcome the situation and restart their businesses again. That's on economic news.
Weather report.
The atmospheric conditions are getting favorable for afternoon thunder showers in most parts of the island today. Showers or thunder showers will occur in most places of the island after 2 p.m. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters are likely at some places in western Sabaragamuwa, northwestern and central provinces. Several spells of showers may occur in eastern Uva and southern provinces in the morning too. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in central Sabaragamuwa and Uva provinces and in Kalatura, Gaul and Mathura districts during the morning. Before we conclude the bulletin of news, back to the headlines. PM signs 9 agreements on China-Sri Lanka cooperation. The President inaugurates MH Omar Liver Care Facility, hails healthcare excellence and philanthropy. Minimum wage increased by 5,000 rupees. The President pledges digital transformation for poverty reduction and educational reform. Turkish Airlines adds flights to Colombo. Foreign news, Russia blames Western Kiev for jihadist massacre in Moscow. In sports, injury time Bellingham goal rescues draw for England. With that, we conclude the morning bulletin of news, and it's back to Anupama this morning.